I just finished my last job in Queensland. I'm going to drive to Melbourne. My next job in Melbourne is a little under 36 hours away.
It might seem unusual, but the deadliest Australian native animal, or at least the one most likely to kill me, is going to be a kangaroo. This is why locals will advise you to choose a truck friend to stay nice and close behind.
Now that was one tank of petrol. And wasn't that truck a bro? Like it lighting up the road in front of us and making sure we didn't hit any kangaroos. So I now have about 1,350 kilometres to go, or about 14 hours, which is seeming way more achievable now that I've knocked out about 5 of them. I'm really keen to check my oil now though, because my car's behaving a little bit concerningly. I'm really hoping it's the petrol that I picked up at the last town, which I'm hoping just had a little bit of water in it. Otherwise, we might be in trouble. Found this little town that looks like a safe enough spot to take a 15-minute power nap. But then there's a guy over there taking stuff out of the public bins and throwing them in all directions. So I might just park a little bit further away from the pub.
Power napping is really hard. I scrounged some art for you instead.
It's 4 a.m. I've had a good sleep beside this little water park, which is a bit fun. And I'm about to get back out there on the road. Look at my little bracket for taking time lapses. It's 4 a.m. and the car is nice and cold, so I'm sticking that oil in it that I mentioned yesterday. Seems a little crazy chucking oil in the car at 4 in the morning beside a water park in Moree, but hey, it's when the car's cold.
The can-throwing man came back past in the night, quietly. I actually felt like I had misjudged him. He seemed like a very clean, industrious, freelance, scrap metal collecting man. He was just getting on with things. Now, this may seem like a gratuitous amount of time-lapse, but it felt longer when it wasn't in time-lapse.
My Brisbane friends informed me that I absolutely have to take the road train route. You can't take the coastal route, the touristy route, because it's way windier, takes much longer. Problem is, road trains are the only thing here except me. That's me over there. As you can see, the car is not great, and as a lone titty owner out in the middle of nowhere, not actually the safest place to be. As long as the car holds up, I reckon I'm probably fine though, and it's been a really pleasant drive. I'm making a decent cup of tea for the first time in a long time. It's actually not that decent, it's made from Brisbane water. It's very sad. But I've got my tea knife out, which I can't do without looking at it. And I've got my little fermented tea cakes. This is making the journey a lot better. I wish you could smell it. Lovely. Pure tea. It's beautiful.
If you watch really carefully, you can catch me getting out to do some yoga in front of the camera on this time-lapse. I do it in front of the camera so that anyone who tries to eat me at truck stops is also on camera.
I don't know if you saw that on the video, but one of these two adorable little dogs just ran out in front of me on the highway. I'm gonna go and try and find an owner for them. They don't have anything on them, but one of them's got a collar. Gonna go looking.
This farmer was out ploughing his fields when I drove onto his property with a pair of random dogs. He ended up making a bunch of phone calls around to all of his neighbours and writing numbers on his fence posts with chalk. He did eventually find their owners for me.
We've located these dogs' home. It isn't the farm I went into, but Andrew, the farmer there, was really helpful, and he managed to ring around and find their owner. And their owner, Lucy, I think, is gonna come and pick them up here. Oh, that looks like her. The doggies are back with their people, and I'm getting back on the road.
I gave myself the luxury of a small town lunch here on the bonnet in front of the silo. It was really pretty. I was going to break up the journey for you with art made on tour, but that stuff takes time. What I mostly have right now is pictures of other people taking pictures of me, which is a whole lot more realistic. That's what tour was really like. This film travels across Australia's 3 most highly populated states, as most of Australia's population lives down the east coast, and yet, as you can see, for those who've come across the sea, we really do have boundless plains to share. The idea that Australia is full must come from those who have never been across it.
I've just pulled over for a quick stop in Ngambie because I keep getting messages asking if I'm okay. I'm very much okay. I left Rod's place in Brookfield 27 hours ago. And amazingly, I'm feeling fine. I've got about 2 hours to go.
And how are you doing after 7 minutes of time lapse? I'm just kidding, I have no sympathy.
That was 29 hours and 45 minutes in the car. I've just got back and discovered that the job I was coming home for is expecting to pay me around a quarter of what my agent initially negotiated. So my agent's currently arguing with them. I'm not doing the job. I would have made about 3 times as much money just staying in Queensland. I think they're a little scared of me now. And I am back on the Melbourne circuit, which today means a pharmaceutical ad.